Live from the Counterpunch Media Studios in Davison, Michigan, it's time for real lives, real families, real fitness. It's time for Derek Noel Fitness.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 47 of Derek Noel Fitness Live. The past few weeks, I have brought a few different interviews from different people. I really hope you enjoyed them. Next week, I'm actually going to have another one, but I wanted to take this week to talk about something that may be a little bit selfish, and I'll get into that, but talking about, especially as we're coming towards the tail end of gyms being closed and whatnot, and basically everyone's lives just being in a constant state of upheaval and change, which humans don't like in general, being able to rip the Band-Aid off. And we're going to talk about that in a second. And I actually got to turn the volume down on that. But keep in mind, as I'm talking about this, if you have any comments, drop them into the comments on Facebook. I will be monitoring that as we're talking about this. So if you have any questions about what I'm talking about, or if you have any comments or suggestions or anything like that, please drop them in and we can talk about them and see what all is going on and if we can create a program that might work for you. On top of that, if you feel like this is something that you know that someone might get something out of, if you could give this a share on your personal page, that would be awesome. Or if you could go onto our YouTube channel and give us a subscribe on there. That's the Counterpunch Media YouTube channel. If you do a YouTube search for Counterpunch Media, it should pop right up. Or you can check the link that I posted earlier. I actually have a link that you can click that'll basically automatically subscribe you, which is really helpful too. Now, let's get into this. I labeled this topic ripping the Band-Aid off. And the past 3 months really have been tough for a lot of people, myself included. And I'll be the first person to admit I haven't been perfect. I've been more in a state of damage control. And I feel like almost everybody can relate to that right now, of that state of controlling what we're actually doing, in the sense of not trying to do too much damage to the body, just trying to mitigate. Or maybe you haven't even been trying to do that. You've been just letting yourself go for the past 3 months because your hands are up in the air and you have too much going on to even have to worry about it, and you can check it out later. Which, completely transparent, kind of okay. That being said, we need to make sure that we get ourselves out of that mindset, because if we just stay there, especially as our lives are starting to go back a little bit to how they were before, a little bit more normal, being able to spend time with friends and family and go do workouts outside at least. I don't really want to talk about the whole gym situation here in Michigan on this, and that is something that I will not talk about if you drop into the comments, because that is a big digression from what I want to talk about. But if we are going to do something, we need to start doing it now. Later isn't the time anymore. Later was the time 2 months ago. Now is the time to make some change. And this episode is going to be very self-serving for myself and probably not entirely applicable to everyone watching. And I was thinking about whether or not I should do this episode because, again, I work a lot different than most other people do. I need to make sure that I'm setting myself up to make progress, though, because just like everybody else, the past 3 months I've been in a sense of damage control. As long as I'm not gaining a ton of weight, I'm good. I'm happy. As long as I'm doing a workout every here and there, I'm totally fine. There are a few weeks, especially in the beginning, where I wasn't doing anything. I was barely doing a boot camp workout for people, and that was basically the only activity I was doing, and I was just having fun. I started drinking beer, and this is me being completely transparent. I started drinking beer. I was having nothing crazy. I was doing 1 or 2, probably a night, which as of today, no more. And I'm going to get into that a little bit more. But there are all of these different things that add up to make it so it's not really even damage control anymore. It's you just not caring. And when I look at and I reflect on the past 3 months for myself, I just didn't care. I was eating ice cream. I was doing all of these other things, and without moderation, because moderation is the whole point of being able to enjoy those things. And I'm a very big proponent of that for most people. So when we are building this out, just know that a lot of these things might seem a little bit extreme, and these things probably won't be fully applicable. I decided to do this and have this as a topic though, so that if you can find even one thing that you think might be able to help you get on that track for change, awesome. Now, before I even get into this, and I'll talk about this and I'll tell you where you can find what I'm doing, because I didn't make this up. I'm following this from someone else. I wanted to make sure everybody knows where I'm coming from when I'm talking about this. I was at my most successful. In case people don't know, I was 242 pounds at one point. I was probably more. I didn't weigh myself until a month or two after, but 242 is the number that I know, so that's the number I tell everyone. I was 242 pounds when I came back from Michigan Tech at the end of 2009, beginning of 2010. I started teaching myself everything, and I was just in constant go mode, even as I was going through culinary school, because, by the way, I do have my bachelor's degree in culinary management. I was teaching myself fitness and nutrition while I was doing everything else. I was in a constant state of go mode. And that's when I saw my most success. There was no moderation on my part. I was going all in, full bore. It was my goal and my goal only, and that's what I was doing, and literally nothing was getting in the way of that. And that was when I was at my most successful. Fast forward a little bit longer, and I kept that success up, and I started training even harder. I ended up working out 3.5 hours a day. So I would go to work, I would get home, I would go to the gym, or I would go straight from work to the gym, hit about an hour and a half long bodybuilding, powerlifting workout. It's usually a blend of the two. I like to call it power building. I would go do a CrossFit workout a few hours later, and that's an hour. And then I would go back to work, where I was a group fitness trainer and still am to this day, and do 2 to 3 of the boot camp workouts. So that adds up to about 3 hours and 30 minutes of working out. I was fueling my body, which is why it worked, and I wasn't getting super run down. Mental burnout was starting to become a thing, but it took a long time to hit that, because while I was in culinary school, I was also busy all the time. I was barely home. I was working. So that was where I was at. I was working out all the time. I was keeping my nutrition so on point, to the point that a few people thought I was starving myself, which I wasn't. But to be fair, I could kind of see where they were coming from with that, and they were just worried about me, which is totally cool. Like, I get it, I understand. But that's when I was at my most successful. I was in go mode all the time. There was nothing stopping me. I was just going. I was getting maybe 6 hours of sleep a night, and that's it. Fast forward to now, and the things that I've been trying to do over the past year or two, and hi, Debbie. Hi, Margie. I probably just butchered your name like twice. But I started becoming a bigger proponent of moderation for myself. So I cut my workouts back to try and ease that load. So I went back into 1 workout a day. And then I started giving myself some moderation, some more cheat meals, and starting enjoying those things. And at first it started out as I was cutting down to, I was still working out 6 days a week, but it was an hour and a half a day, and it wasn't all of the extra. And then that turned into 4 days a week, and then it turned into 3 days a week. And then towards the tail end of last year, that was turning into maybe 2 or 3 times a week if I felt like it. I just didn't want to. And that was because I don't work well with moderation. I just don't. Even in terms of nutrition, I'll say, oh yeah, I'm having 1 cheat meal a week, and then it turns into 2 or 3, or I just blow the entire week out, and that's just what I do. I don't work well with moderation, so in order for me to set myself up for success in the way that I know works for me, I'm doing what I'm about to talk about. And it is very much a go mode all the time, no moderation, nothing kind of deal. Which is where I'm coming into. If some of these things apply to you, if you can relate to me in any sort of way, I'm not saying, I'm putting this disclaimer in here right now. If I could, I would just put it right here. I do not recommend anyone else watching this actually does this full bore like I am. I just don't. But if there's something in here that you can take out of it, take something out of it and apply it. The first couple things I talk about are really things that probably should be done for a lot of people, and then as I go on, I'm started from the easier parts of it for me to the harder parts for me. And that's where we're going to be building off of this from. So, like I said, this is a very self-serving episode. If you don't get anything out of it, that's totally cool. We're going back to interviews, which you will get something out of. The person I'm interviewing for next week is awesome. You'll love him. We're going to talk about donuts, and they're great. That being said, I'm going to be doing a program called 75 Hard. And this is from Andy Frisella. He's the founder of First Form. He's a social marketing entrepreneur, a bunch of stuff. He's a very, very successful person, and he has this program. I have no affiliation with First Form, by the way, before anyone starts asking me about supplements. I have no affiliation with First Form. I've literally never had any of their supplements before. I just was looking through, and I know a few people who have done this program, and I really feel like that this is my jam, and this is what's going to work for me, so I'm going to give it a try. And I might fail it a couple times, but we'll see how it goes. So this is what 75 Hard entails. There are 5 different things that I have to do every single day. Number 1 is a progress picture every single day. Keep in mind, day 1 is tomorrow, so day 1's picture, that's the first one. Notice that's not a scale or a weight or anything like that. Will I do that? Yeah, probably, but the big thing is taking a progress picture every single day. A lot of people who talk to me say that I tell them all the time the scale is secondary. The scale is secondary. Those big wins are my pants fitting better? Do I feel like I have more energy? Am I sleeping well? Am I crushing it in the gym? Those are the big things. The scale, I'm at the point of who cares about the scale. If I'm gonna weigh in at probably right around 190. If I don't lose it, doing what I'm doing, I'm going to be losing some weight, but if I don't, honestly, I won't be mad because I know my body composition is going to basically do a 180. I posted a picture a month or 2 back of when I had abs. I don't have abs right now. I'm, again, going to be fully transparent. And what I'm going to do with these progress pictures is I'm going to be posting them on my social media every single day. IG story, which automatically is tied to my Facebook, so my Derek Noel Fitness Facebook page, the one you're watching this on right now, unless you're on YouTube, but on my Facebook or my Instagram, at the Derek Noel, I will be posting my progress picture every single day. Why am I going to do that? Well, number 1, why am I taking a progress picture every single day? So I can track progress, so I can see the very beginning to the very end, and I can make a slideshow, and I'm gonna feel awesome at the end of it, and it's gonna be great. That's why I'm doing that. Why am I posting it on social media every day? Because I have always had some body image issues. I posted about it, again, when I posted the picture about me having abs, I didn't even know I had them because I was too focused on the little bit of loose skin that I had on the bottom of my stomach that I still have. So I'm posting the progress pictures. There's going to be a shirtless picture of Derek every single day on my social media stuff for 75 days. And that is to help me just get through the whole caring about the body image thing, because that's something that I need to do in my own mental state. So that's me being completely transparent with everyone. This is me being super transparent about me as a person, not me as a coach. This is basically me using this to coach myself. So progress picture every single day. By the way, I should say, if I fail any of these things, even a little bit, I have to start back at day 1. It doesn't matter if I get 60 or 70 days in. If I forget or I don't do one of these things, I have to start all the way back at day 1, and that entire thing is marked a failure. Like I said, it's go big or go home. There's no moderation. There's no room for failure. There's no room for making this a sketchy little thing or trying to skate through it. I'm doing this. It's either I did it or I didn't. There's binary, yes or no. That's it. That's all I'm giving myself. The second thing is reading 10 pages of nonfiction, either entrepreneurship or self-improvement. For me, it's going to be a lot of self-improvement. I have some entrepreneur tendencies, but I still work for someone, and I can't wait to actually get back into that full time. This has to be a physical copy of a book. I cannot use an ebook. I can't do an audiobook. It has to be a physical copy, because there's a certain sense of accomplishment that reading the physical pages and being able to see how much you have left and actually being able to close that back of the book and set it down, there's a certain sense of accomplishment that you get from there. It's a little bit of a confidence booster. And if you can use that confidence booster to help keep yourself going, then that's where that comes from. So 10 pages of nonfiction. My first 2 books, I can tell you right now, are going to be The Mindset Manual from Corey Gregory, and they're going to be Get Change from Chris Moore, which is an anthology from him of the 3 books that he wrote before he passed. So those will be the first 2 books. I'm probably going to need to find 4 or 5 more because I can almost guarantee I'm going to be reading more than 10 pages a day. I just get caught up when I do. The third one is drinking a gallon of water a day. I'm going to be real. Basically, everybody should be doing this anyways. In case you were wondering, the general guideline of water intake is take your body weight and divide it by half, and that's how many ounces of water you should be drinking a day. If I weigh 190, that means I need to be drinking, what is that, 95 ounces of water a day. That's still not enough. I need to be drinking a gallon, especially for the next 2 parts. I'm going to be needing that extra water over that. But really, a gallon of water a day, once you actually get going on it, is not so big of a deal. It's like 8 bottles of water. It'll be fine. I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but you need water, and it does a lot for your body. And my skin is going to be looking so fly. Yeah, I'm throwing in jokes while I'm talking about this stuff. It's fine. So we have the 3 things right now. Progress picture every single day, which I'm going to do. That's starting tomorrow morning when I wake up. I'm going to start waking up early again tomorrow too, so that's good. Number 2 is reading the 10 pages of nonfiction. It has to be a physical copy of the book, which means I'm probably going to have to go out and buy a book or 2. Drinking a gallon of water a day, not a problem. Here's where it gets fun. Here's where people are going to think that I'm crazy. Number 4 is stick to a diet. Doesn't sound too bad, right? I have my own macronutrient profile set up, and I know exactly how much I should be eating, calorie-wise, protein, fat, carb-wise. I know all of that stuff. Here's the catch. 0 cheat meals for 75 days. I have a friend. My friend Nick actually went like a half a year without a cheat meal. A lot of people looked at him like he was crazy. I was included in that. But 75 days, 0 cheat meals. Even though I'm following a macronutrient profile, I am not going to be spending any of my calories, and I'm not allowed to spend any of my calories on things like ice cream or cookies or anything like that. No sugary drinks or anything. It has to be clean, whole foods. Period. That is what I'm going to be rolling with. I'm going to be eating a lot of food, and I'm sure I'll probably take some pictures and things like that, but that is what I need to do. Is it going to be kind of inconvenient on some days? Yes, definitely going to be inconvenient. But this is honestly not a fitness challenge. This is a mental challenge. So the point is kind of to be inconvenienced. So I'm going to be sticking to a diet. I'm going to be sticking to my macronutrient profile. I'm not going to be specifically following paleo or keto or whatever. I have my macronutrient profile that I know is going to help fuel me, that I know is going to help me thrive, and it's going to be in a slight deficit to make sure that I am actually losing body fat. My protein is going to be nice and high. My carbs and fats are going to be pretty balanced unless I determine that I need to move them around. So if I feel like I'm just beat up by the workouts, which are the next part, by the way, then I'm going to be able to finagle that a little bit. But again, everything's going to be a clean source. Everything's going to be pure. I'm not going to be cheating or anything like that or saving things and eating ice cream or anything like that. Also with this, 0 alcohol. So that beer that I was telling everybody about that I was drinking, I'm not going to be touching any of that. 0 alcohol for 75 days, which means all the beer in my fridge is going to be sitting there, or it's going to get tossed out and the bottles returned when we can eventually do that. Number 5. Number 5 is the last one. It is work out twice a day for 45 minutes. My dad just came out and waved his finger about throwing out the beers, but that's okay. So number 5 is working out twice a day for 45 minutes apiece. That's an hour and a half. That is more than I've probably worked out in the past couple weeks combined, basically. But it's not nearly as much as I was working out before. Couple things with this one. Number 1, one of them must be an outdoor workout. Has to be outside. Doesn't matter if it's raining? No. Doesn't matter if it is super windy outside? No. I have to be outside for one of them for a 45-minute span working out. It can't even be 40 minutes. It can't be 42 or 43. It has to be at least 45 minutes. And one's outside. I'm waking up early so that I can knock one of those workouts out and get them done in the morning, so I only have to worry about one of them for the rest of the day. When boot camp stuff starts back up and I have to wake up early in the morning, it'll probably be during one of the breaks that I knock that out. I have to figure that out when it comes to that. They also cannot be back to back, so I can't go straight from one inside, straight outside, or I can't go straight inside to the or straight outside to the inside one. They have to be broken up. Why? Because it's supposed to be inconvenient. It's supposed to be about having to manage your time to make it happen. It also has to be about the willpower to make it happen. So I'm going to be doing that. One of them, I'm waking up early to get one of them done, and then I can figure out the other one in the rest of the day. Can I be outside in the morning? I might be. I might save the outdoor one until later on in the day, depending on how stupid hot it is outside, but then I might have to swap them around. So one of the workouts has to be outside. Both of them can be outside if I want them to. One of them has to be, and they both have to be at least 45 minutes spread out. So they just can't be one after the other, but if I have an hour or two break in between, that's totally cool. I'm making sure that I do that to keep myself on it, and I know I can because, again, I was working out for 3.5 hours a day for 5 to 6 days a week before. So I know I can do it. And that wasn't too long ago that old age has caught up to me and made it so I can't do it anymore. I'm going to be building up that volume to be able to do it. Like I said, this is a very self-serving episode. I'm talking about my plan and what I'm planning on doing, and this is me on video, on record, saying it, so if I end up slacking or if someone notices that I'm slacking, they can call me out on it. And I'm lucky enough that I have 2 parents who are listening to this right now who are definitely going to call me out if they see me slacking on this stuff. That is one of the things that I lucked into, is I do have parents that care, and if they know that I'm trying to do something, then they will back me up, even if they think it's crazy. Because I haven't actually told them about this full program. This is the first they're finding out about it right now. This is the first everyone's finding out about it. So, like I said, if I fail at any one of these things, if I fail at one of these things, I have to start back over at day 1, and that's marked up as a failure. And that's one other thing I want to talk about. I've noticed over time that if someone posts saying I failed, and one of my clients actually did, and actually I had permission to post about it, but one of my clients the other day posted saying she failed. She failed a rep and X happened and whatnot, and a bunch of people jumped on her thread and saying, you didn't fail, you didn't walk away, you didn't quit. That was not the point. Even if I fail this, will I be disappointed in myself? Yeah, but I'm going to turn that anger into the fuel I need to make sure that I'm successful next time. So a lot of people view let me rephrase that. When you say in a reaffirming tone, you didn't fail, when someone's making a post saying, hey, I failed today. When someone posts saying, I failed today, they get it. They understand that you learned something from that failure point. When you post in response to a post like that and you say, you didn't fail, you didn't quit, you'll come back and get it next time. I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, you're missing the point. The point wasn't that they failed. The point is that they took something out of it, that they learned something. Because when you have a setback, you can either think of it as a step back, so you can step back and you can plant your foot so you can drive forward, which is what you should do and what you should thrive and strive to do all the time. Or you can slip and stumble and fall over and just call it quits there. Those are the things that you need to be taking out of that. When you have those failure points, and I feel like my microphone might be making some funny noises right now. Heidi, who does what? By the way, Heidi's totally the person that I was talking about that posted that, and I'm super proud of her as someone who's been working with her for a while. But when you post that and you go, you didn't fail, you're viewing failure as a negative. Can failure be a negative thing? Yes. Should you take it as one? No, you shouldn't dwell on it, because failure, and I'm going to be super cliche here right now, failure is first attempt in learning. I think that's how it goes. I don't know. You learn things, basically you learn things from your failures, and people who never fail never have those learning moments. So someone who has failed a couple times is more likely to become more successful over time. So keep that in mind. I'm going to keep that in mind. And if I post 5, 10, 20, 30 days down the road saying, hey, I failed at this, I need to start over from day 1, I am not looking for sympathy. I'm looking for you to take something out of that, because I'm going to be taking something out of it. And that's where I'm actually going to leave it today. If you find, no problem, Heidi. I got you, girl. If you find that you were able to take something out of this, of me being super serious, I feel like I'm way more serious than I normally am with this. If you find that you were able to take something out of this, please, please, please give this video a share. give me a comment with a heart or a thumbs up or a crush it or a let's go or something. It can be even the flex emoji, and let me know that you heard this message, because that's why I'm making this, is because I want it to be heard that sometimes you have to do super uncomfortable things and you have to be super inconvenienced in order to get yourself back on track. Again, do I expect anyone to do this with me? Absolutely not. This is insane what I'm going to be trying to do. 75 days of no cheat meals. I've literally never gone anywhere near that before with no cheat meals, but I'm going to. So if you will get something out of this, please also give this a share and follow the YouTube channel. We're super close. I think we need like 4 more people to hit 100. So if you haven't done that already, please make sure you do that. I would love to be able to do those things. Number one, we will be able to have an actual YouTube link of Counterpunch Media. It'll be youtube.com probably /Counterpunch Media or something like that. We'll be able to get that link, which makes it really easy. But we'll also be able to do some other really, really cool stuff with our YouTube channel once we hit 100. So please make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. You can find me, and you'll be able to find all those shirtless pictures of me for the next 75 days at the Derek Noel on Instagram, by extension, facebook.com/theDerekNoel. If you want to see some other stuff that I'm posting about, I'll probably post my water, and I'm probably, actually, that's a good idea. I just thought I'm probably going to end up taking a bunch of videos and doing some vlogs. I might do it in Facebook or in Instagram story just because it's really easy to save them without taking up a bunch of phone space. But if you would like to see some sort of video log or weekly check-in from me, I'm totally down for that. Like I said, we're going to have a really cool guest. I'm not going to announce who it is because I want it to be a surprise till later on in the week. But I'm super pumped to interview him. He's a super cool dude. We will be talking about donuts, which is going to be really interesting, especially with me not being able to have any for the next however many weeks 75 days is. But we're going to have a good time. That's really all I got for everybody. I know it's a little bit of a shorter episode today, but have a great night, everybody.